What is going on today, guys? Hope you guys are having a blessed and wonderful day. Got a quick little message for you today. Um, I was reading last night and I came across this scripture, and this one just stood out to me a whole lot. I actually, when I read it, I kind of sat on it for a second and really just had to think about it. Because it really hit me. It really hit me because this is just something I struggled with like all of last year. All of last year, I struggled with this simple thing right here, and I struggled with it all of last year. And now I'm really and I know there's a lot of people who probably struggle with this same thing as well. But I was reading First Corinthians 10, and some people know this, some people don't. Let's just go ahead and get straight into the message. As you see from the title, you can't have it both ways. That's what God told me. You can't have it both ways. But as I said, I was reading First Corinthians 10, and I came across verse 21. And it says, and this is from KJV, ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of the devils. So, like I said, this one little verse hit me really hard out of the whole thing. I mean, the whole thing was great, obviously, but just that one part is just something that I just had to meditate on, because it's just God and it just hit me. It was like God just told me, you can't have it both ways. A lot of times we feel like we can still do some of the things that we like to do and still, get access to the promises of God. We feel like we still can do what we're doing and have that at the same time, and you can't. And I think a lot of times I know a lot of times, I can honestly say for myself, a lot of times it's like I knew it, but it's just that honestly I just didn't believe it, fully. I believed it, but not fully, to the point where it got to a point where I just kept doing the same things, and I'm thinking it's gonna change. I really came into this to kind of like this mindset of of how I wanted God to be and who God really was. There's a big difference between that. Sometimes that can really happen. Sometimes you can kind of make up this thought of who you want God to be, and it not be God. You continue to do things the way that you want to do it, and you still don't see any change. You're still asking God, like, God, I don't see any change in this. I don't see this happening. I don't see this happening. But you're still doing the right things. You're still doing some of the right things, but then you still got those things that you're holding on to. You have to cut that out completely, because it says it right here. You can't have, you can't drink out of the Lord's cup and drink out of the devil's cup at the same time. It does not work that way. And like I said, I think a lot of times we kind of struggle with that because, like I said, for me, on my own personal experience, it was just I was in denial a lot of times, because I'm like, man, it's like I can do all these things, Lord, but you want me to give this up. You want me to give these things up. I'm like, I can do all these things. But it was, and the thing is, it was something that I guess I had grown accustomed to, something I was used to. But what I couldn't understand is the fact that God he just wanted what's best for me. He just wants what's best for me. And it's the same way with you. It's just some of these things that we hold on to that we really don't need to hold on to. A lot of times it's just God trying to save us from a path of destruction. And sometimes it's hard to kind of like see it that way. Sometimes you kind of think of it as if God doesn't want you to have fun or something, or whatever it is, and it's not the case. It's just God just wants what's best for you. He wants you to prosper, be in good health, all of these things. And it's like sometimes it's hard to understand that, and it just takes a level of maturity to finally, really drop all the stuff that you're doing and start really obeying God. That's what I had to do. I just had to mature. It was just I had to mature. I had to stop blocking God from the change, from the transformation. A lot of times God is just trying to transform us. His word transforms us, and a lot of times we can try to stop that transformation by still holding on to the things of the past. But what we have to do is we have to let those things go, so that the transformation process can really, really set in and start really completing and really like changing us from the inside. Like I said, we have to really we have to stop getting in the way. That's something I had to do, is I had to stop getting in the way of what God was trying to do, which is at the end of the day is gonna benefit me. But it's like I couldn't understand that. I couldn't. It's like I understood it, but it's just that, like I said, that immaturity in me was just, it just didn't want to. It didn't want to do it. I wanted to keep holding on to these things, but now I'm at a point now where I've let those things go. I'm at peace now, and you just really have to allow God to do that for you. Like I said, in our heads, sometimes it can really just seem like He's taking something away. He's just hurting you or something. But at the end of the day, it's really just helping. It's really benefiting us at the end of the day. Just like when God says, to read your word more and study His word more, it's gonna benefit you. But see, at the time, like, it goes back to this. And like, there was times where I just felt like, and I don't care. I'll be honest. I ain't like this anymore. But everybody, it's just to show you that everybody's not. You're not gonna be perfect on this journey. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You're not gonna be perfect. So and if you're trying to be perfect, it's really gonna frustrate you, honestly, because like I said, everybody's not perfect, man. I just had to understand that as well. But like I said, with the whole reading your word now, like I said, I found this by reading. I read way more often now than I did before. But like I said, it's just, at first I thought it was taking away my fun time, my time where I'm chilling. But then I had to really think about it. I'm like, I'm really not doing anything anyway. I'm really not doing anything, but this is a good little chill time. But in this chill time, I'm really not doing anything. Outside, when I'm not working on my business or whatever, I'm like kind of just, going with the flow, chilling, scrolling on YouTube or something like that, but I really wasn't doing much. So now it's like, well, let's use that time to read. That's what we should have been doing anyway. But now I use it to read now. But there's that immaturity in me, that just wanted to keep doing what I wanted to do. But at the end of the day, it's just God was it's going to benefit me. It's going to help me. It's going to benefit me. At the end of the day, it's going to benefit you when you read your word more, because now you're getting that wisdom. You're getting that understanding. You're growing each day. Every time you read, you're learning something new each day. Like I said, I just was reading this and I learned this, and I've elevated some more off of that. You're gonna keep elevating once you keep reading and reading and reading, and it's only gonna benefit you at the end of the day, because like I said, the more you get right, the more you read it. Now you can help somebody else. Now you can say that you can bring your learnings. You read something. You see somebody else struggling with something, now you can kind of talk them through it now, because you're learning from it now. And that's how we're really going to help each other, is by if we're all constantly learning and sharing with others. But if we're not learning, if we're not reading our word for real, like I said, like I did not read that much. I'll be honest with you guys, I was not reading that much. I was reading here and there, but I wasn't reading much. I tell the truth. But if we're not constantly learning and reading every day, we're going to get stagnant. And you don't want to feel that feeling of being stagnant, because that's when you start to feel stuck. That's when you really start to feel stuck. That's where it really starts, confusion starts setting in. You start wondering if you're supposed to be doing this. Is this what God wants me to do? All those doubts and all that stuff gets to setting in, and then it just... it shouldn't even happen in the first place, and it won't happen as long as you just keep reading your word. And that's why I say to you today, if there is something that you have been holding on to and you kind of feel like that you need to let it go, like, you need to go to God about it and let Him take it away from you. Just let Him do the heavy lifting for you. Let Him fight those battles that that you're just not able to do. If you're not able to do it, it's okay to go to God and say, God, I can't do this on my own. I've done it before plenty of times. I've went to God and said, hey, God, I can't do this on my own. I can't do this on my own. You got to humble yourself. And then once you do that, that's when God can really come in and really do things for you and show you some things. But He can't really show you some things if you have that pride stuck in you that you got it. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm telling you right now, that's a never ending. That's an endless battle. It's an endless battle. I'm telling you, when you're trying to take on all this stuff on your own, it's an endless, it never stops. But once you finally surrender, give it all to God, that is when you really feel relaxed. You feel peace. You think you're feeling, that's when you really, really feel it. It's like now, the more I've let go of certain things, certain issues, and I just stay in my peace that God already gives me. God gives you peace. Can't nobody take it from you. None can take it from you. Stay in that peace and let God take care of all the things that is going on around you. You don't even have to fight the battle. And a lot of times we feel like we have to fight it. Fight it. But no. That's where that is why God is here for us. And so I say this today, like I said, if there's something that you've been holding on to and you need to let it go, you really have to have a self-reflection time and ask yourself, is it really worth holding on to? That's something I had to ask myself. Is it really worth holding on to? If God said you can live a whole totally different life than what you're living right now, but all you have to do is sacrifice these things, is it really worth holding on to at the end of the day? I had to really ask myself, is some of these things really worth holding on to? And I believe you have to really ask yourself that same thing. Is it really worth holding on to? And just have that self-reflection time, man. But that's the message for today, guys. I hope this word blesses you today. I hope it can help you out a little bit. As always, like, subscribe. God loves you. I love you. Really, truthfully. We really need to dig in deeper because we really don't want to go into this year with the same stuff. I have to keep telling myself that so many times because you really don't want to go through this year doing the same stuff you did last year. Because guys, let me tell you, it's very easy, very, very easy. I had to learn this the hard way. It's very, very easy to fall back into those same cycles. So you have to change some things. It's very, very easy, and that's scary. It's scary. It's scary. It should be scary. Really, it really is. But that's not going to be you this year. But peace out, guys.